how the West is being destroyed, which is doomer coded. Here at Third Eye Global, kick.com/Philion, we believe in something called delusional optimism. So no matter what, you will leave this video feeling better than you did when you started it. And that's the Third Eye promise.
I have to get up and I have to show my babies, you fight for what's right. You fight for the people that you love.
Sakia Navas is
I can already tell. I could see it from a mile away. That's much better.
forced to fight because her husband is currently in ICE custody.
I don't know, is breaking the law doing what's right? This is a woman named Sakia Navas who lives in Texas, and her husband, who was in the United States illegally for 22 years, was detained by ICE.
22 years? What are you doing?
My husband is in Lubbock right now because of the big hailstorms. He has a roofing business, and so he's there to do roofing jobs. And he was pulled over immediately by the sheriff for supposedly a traffic stop. Immediately once he was pulled over, an unmarked car showed up with ICE agents that got out, removing him and the other gentleman.
He was turned over to ICE for not having a license. Eventually, he was transferred to a detention center in Eden near San Angelo.
You know, these days, the topic of media literacy
So this guy being deported is why the West has fallen. Got it.
has become quite popular. Now,
He was single-handedly putting the country on his back.
personally, I've only seen people use the term media literacy or accusing people of lacking in it when they're trying to deceive you, though that might just be a happy coincidence. But anyway, some of you more media literate individuals can probably guess why the picture they have chosen is a picture of the guy with a newborn, and why they make sure to sit.
Because this is to appeal to emotion, not facts and logic. It's going to pull on your heartstrings. Don't you feel bad? That's propaganda. That's a psyop. That's manipulation.
All of the kids on the couch with the mom. Make sure you don't mention why he was pulled over, because we all know that illegals never drive recklessly under the influence and end the lives of a couple of Americans. But those of us media professionals like to call this emotional manipulation, and it's used to get you to ignore the fact that this guy was pulled over, found to be driving without a license, and was detained with another person who was likely also in.
You know, you don't even need to be a citizen of this country to get a license, which I think is insane. How is that even possible?
Legal, all while the mom uses language to minimize and subtly lie about what's going on. She says that ICE was immediately there like they were just waiting to engage in racism against this poor innocent father of three, when what almost certainly happened is that he was pulled over, failed to present his license, and when the cops noticed, hey, this guy doesn't sound like a native speaker of English, if he spoke English at all, they called ICE and rightfully detained him.
So he's not a citizen and doesn't have a license. He just spawned in. Somehow.
If somebody's watching today and says, well, he was in the country for 22 years. Why did he wait so long to get a citizenship? What would you say?
I pushed for it years ago when she was born, almost 7 years ago. And he's like, but I don't want it to look like that's why I'm married to you. And, you know.
Oh. So I shouldn't feel bad.
Maybe even a part of his pride, too, was what stood in the way. But
Skill issue.
never because he didn't want it to look like, you know, he's using his country for that.
What the fuck does that even mean, bro?
Chick is such a liar. It was his pride that stopped him from filing paperwork.
There's more to the story here. We're about to get a lore dump.
He didn't want to make it seem like he was using me. Okay, but he had 22 years to apply for legal residency without using you, so why the hell didn't he do that? Well, the answer is probably because he was previously deported and can't get legal status, or he doesn't want legal residency because he doesn't want to pay taxes on the roofing jobs that he does. He didn't hold back because of his pride. That's stupid, and it's not moral either, because the moral thing to do would be to come into the country legally, not invade the country from El Salvador because you're selfish.
It's so over.
More importantly, the news organizations defending this criminal behavior is disgusting. And I mean criminal because it's a federal crime. But the reality of what they're doing here is that they are trying to
No human is illegal. Borders aren't real.
abuse people's empathy to justify
All cultures are created equally.
open borders, which allows for drug trafficking of super dangerous materials like fentanyl, sex trafficking.
You know what's crazy? All these fucking libtards, and I swear to God, I'm not even political at this point, but this is just basic logic. They always run defense for drug traffickers and human traffickers and literal coyotes. Last time I checked, me and my fucking boys don't smuggle fentanyl in our ass crack and then go to another country. I don't hit up the group chat and say, yo, you want to become drug kingpins? Never happens.
Allows for crime from people who shouldn't even be here, and it removes the workers' rights standards that Americans have been fighting for decades. So I don't care about any of these stories that the news is using to emotionally bully people. If they want to keep their family together, then they can all move back to El Salvador. I don't care how sad their story is. The real sad story is the millions of young Americans.
Yo, dude, I got the sickest idea, bro. So we're basically going to take slaves and sell their bodies. You in? All right, bet. I'll pick you up in 5.
Not being able to afford houses or families or work reasonable hours because
But they have to do it. Mogged.
businesses and politicians keep essentially importing people who are willing to work for slave wages to compete with American citizens.
Kaylee says she first came to the U.S. 12 years ago, fleeing her home country of Honduras.
Can you imagine a result where you had to return to Honduras and leave your kids behind?
No me lo puedo imaginar.
I can't imagine it.
She doesn't have to leave her kids behind. She can take them with her. In fact, she can self-deport, and I'm sure the government would be happy to aid her in the move.
As a mom, I'm a mom. How do you survive every day with this doubt?
Yo, you can literally self-deport, then come back legally. There's so many options, it's hilarious.
Yo por mis hijos hago todo.
For your kids, you do everything.
Again, using children as human shields so they can emotionally bully you to the extent that you won't notice that they can't even do the interview in English because she doesn't speak it. They had to use an interpreter when she's been living in the U.S. for 12 years. And understand that I'm bilingual, so I don't give a fuck about how difficult it is to learn English. If you aren't willing to put in the work, then get out. These people aren't here to help America. They're here to take from the system. And Americans aren't obligated to give endless welfare
That right there is anti-American, goddammit.
to the third world. I don't see why you would care about them because they don't care about you. They don't care about the damage they cause to this country. They don't care about respecting the culture. I mean, they won't even learn English. On top of that, these people rioted for like a month during the summer, and their sympathizers are still out there threatening people for trying to enforce the law.
If I find out that you were part of ICE, I'm whooping your ass on site. I'm not even fucking playing with you. It's on site. So don't ever let me find out that you were a part of that shit. And don't ever try to slide in my group, because let me find out that you were high-key a Nazi in my 30s. I'm fucking you up. In the nursing home. That's on God.
Can we deport him too? We need to start being way less nice to these people. And when I say that, I don't mean we should assault them or beat them up. What I mean is that we shouldn't be afraid of...
Absolute bunker buster bombs being dropped here at Third Eye Global, kick.com/Philion.
supporting the law being enforced. Nor should we be afraid to openly support the people who are compromising their safety to keep America free of people who abuse the system.
You just have to use like kindergartner logic to explain this to people that don't get it through their head. Their dense brains. Imagine you own a house. And one day you open up the front door and there's a bunch of random people in your kitchen. Do you let them stay or do you kick them out? You don't know who they are. You don't know what their motives are. You don't know their story, their quest, their lore. Nothing.
And we certainly should not be afraid to say that
These are international squatters.
we don't want certain cultures in
How
this
come when I try to break into Mexico illegally, I get shot in the fucking face? Make it make sense. Rules for thee, not for me.
country, and the people who refuse to assimilate or learn English should be deported. If anyone calls that racist, I don't care.
Fuck it, call me a racist. The more people realize that being called racist means nothing anymore, society will heal. So many white people, and not just white people, everybody's afraid of being
Is
called
this girl AI? What is going on here?
the racist. And honestly, that's what's holding you back.
If I judge someone based on their actions instead of their skin color and I still get called racist, then I don't care about your opinion. Also, when they start making videos of eating rice with their hands and saying they aren't trying to assimilate, but
Yeah, I'm just not on board with the rice with the hands. You know, some foods require get down and dirty, but as a distinguished gentleman, rice is not one of them.
instead trying to colonize America, then it's time to stop caring about what they think.
I don't give a fuck. You are a white person. You want to be solidarity? Take care of your own shit.
Personally, I identify as a brown girl, so this doesn't apply to me.
You white people, you need to step the fuck back.
YPPO. WYPIPO.
If this woman can be blatantly racist and say that she doesn't care, then I think we should all stop caring what people think when we do the non-racist thing of judging people by their actions instead of by their skin color like she did. Because, I mean, what do you think is going on here? When someone crosses the border illegally or lies about needing asylum and works under the table, gets free schooling for the kids, gets free medical benefits.
What's the deal with the rice? Can we solve this before we move on for a second? Why am I supposed to be reminded of my race and privilege while you look at me with a straight face and insist to eat rice with your bare hands? Like, sure, maybe you guys have been doing that for years in your country, but, you know, we're living in America or Western civilization where there's utensils. You can actually avoid all the grease, grime, soot, ash, flavor saver bullshit by not using your hands. I'll do you one better. I even like to use chopsticks. I have surgical precision with that shit, except when I get down to the last few grains of rice.
Benefits and many other handouts from the American system.
Like, we're talking about places where people wipe their ass with their bare hands, and then they eat rice with their same hands. What is going on here? This is not up for debate.
That is not a poor, helpless person. That is a thief. That is a foreign invader. And apologizing for someone because they had like a bad childhood or came from a bad country as they steal from you is stupid. These people know what they're doing, and they don't care about being openly racist either. So why would you care about someone calling you racist for pointing out criminal behavior? I mean, when big YouTubers named Chris Broad get caught making defamatory edits, like a comment calling me a white nationalist after I made a video pointing out what he did, it doesn't bother me.
My favorite thing about Donald Trump is that one day he will die.
And all of this isn't
That's so Reddit Chungus coded.
even the worst part, because those crazy
Orange man bad, TDS.
nose-ring leftists have everyone so beaten down and in fear of being called racist that they would have you stay quiet when there are many people of a particular radical group openly saying that they want to violently conquer us.
Allah is not shy of the truth. We don't.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, let me just dust off. A little WD-40. A little degrease.
Don't say that Islam is here to live, to coexist with lots of different religions and all of us can just hold hands and be friends. This religion was sent to dominate the world. It was sent to be
Live by the sword, die by the sword. It is known.
Superior, to extinguish the light of every other religion and to be superior to it. And if that requires...
He's just a chill guy.
Fighting to achieve it, then it requires fighting to achieve it. Because the greatest purpose for which jihad was legislated is to make the word of Allah the highest and the word of those who disbelieve the lowest.
He means they're going to use violence to get people to convert to Islam. Remember these stupid-ass stickers?
I actually do remember them, yeah.
I'm sure the radical Muslims look at these and laugh. And let me be clear, I'm all for people of any race who want to come to America, be American, and be a benefit to American society.
That's literally the Teddy Roosevelt quote. Look it up.
But there is no coexistence with people who want to physically harm you for
A
believing...
lot of people don't want to melt into the melting pot that good old Israel Zangwill invented.
something different. Radical Islam is an existential threat, and after seeing what's happened to Europe, I think we all need to start making the radicals feel a lot less welcome in America.
You mock my hijab. You curse my prophet. You insult and use my scripture. You step on, spit, and burn my holy book.
I mean, aren't there a bunch of Muslims out there burning our flag and saying death to America?
I thought this was a religion of peace. Inshallah, brother.
They've been doing that for at least 2 decades.
See, just like everything else, it is a psyop. You have been brainwashed into submission, into accepting these lofty, vague parameters that are not based in reality. Religion of peace, religion of peace, religion of peace. Yeah,
Entire argument is on the basis of IQ. You haven't said, you just say, marrying your cousin, effing your cousin, that is degenerate. On the basis of what? It's not on the basis of your Bible.
So, if you want to get radicalized in real time, look up consanguinity, okay? And then look up statistics of Muslim majority countries. You know, I don't even want to do this, but I'll instruct you to do it. Go to Grok or ChatGPT or even Gemini, any LLM AI model of your choice and see for yourself.
It's just a degree. Yeah, laugh it up.
Man, that guy was so messed up that he made Andrew Wilson look good. So I don't care about the feelings of people who don't respect mine. Instead of saying sorry, I'm buying a dog. Dogs are like garlic to them. Because if we don't start making the illegals and the extremists feel unwelcome here, they will take over. Being kind to people who threaten and steal from you is not a virtue. It's showing weakness because it's showing that you'll put up with people abusing you. And every time you put up with abuse, you empower the abuser to abuse other people. Also, just like illegal Mexicans have taken over a pretty sizable portion of places like California, there are Muslims now taking over cities in America, to the extent where the politicians aren't even speaking English anymore.
Assalamu alaikum.
Studies indicate that approximately 60 to over 70% of marriages in Pakistan are consanguineous, meaning they occur between blood relatives. This practice is among the highest globally, 61.2% nationally. Stop noticing, stop realizing, stop observing. You're just not going to argue with people who marry their own family members. There's no winning.
This election means this is a moment for unity.
Wait, who is this guy?
Where the entire Somali community can come
is this the guy from Minnesota? Is this Dearborn, Michigan, or Minneapolis?
Together and say, this is our people, this is our city, we are united behind each other.
Hey, ICE, I found the location of your next raid. It's a place called Minneapolis where the mayor is speaking an illegal alien. Oh, wait. According to the New York Post, it looks like they're already on it.
Officers from our Fraud Detection and National Security Directorate have conducted over 1,000 site visits across the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. Our officers encountered blatant marriage fraud, visa overstays, people claiming to work at businesses that can't be found, abuse of the...
God bless America. What a clown show, dude.
H-1B visa system, and many other...
And people have the audacity to call out Doge, right? Elon's elite group of hyper-autists who literally line charted and bar graphed where the corruption was coming from, this wasteful spending. I mean, are you good or are you okay?
Discrepancies. Our officers found indication of fraud.
They were funneling money to Al-Shabaab. Don't believe me? Look at this. Treasury designates transnational Al-Shabaab money laundering network. Here, I'll get you a more recent one. U.S. Treasury investigating Minnesota tax dollars possibly linked to Al-Shabaab.
Non-compliance or public safety and national security concerns in nearly a little less than 50% of the cases interviewed. I want the American people to know that we are declaring war on immigration fraud. We will continue to pursue those who seek to abuse our immigration system using every tool at our disposal.
That sounds exactly like what I voted for. Send them all back to Somalia. And by the way, I say that with kindness because look at this place. Somalia is beautiful. Who wouldn't want to be deported here? Now, a lot of people are saying that we have to do things that are like unconstitutional to solve this problem, but I don't think so. So many of these people are only
Mogadishu, beautiful tourist destination,
able to do these things because they are doing stuff that is illegal, that all we have to do to solve all of America's major problems is just to enforce the law, just enforce the damn law, deport all of the illegals, put stricter limitations on immigration, and arrest the judges who do catch and release programs for...
How many more innocent people need to be fucking killed on public transit? Dude, I'm done watching gore videos on X. Please. First, Irina Zarutska. Then, what's her name? Logan? Federico. And more recently, the girl all the way on the left, set on fire in Chicago. 72 arrests.
Repeat offenders who set people on fire. But on a positive note, so far, it looks like enforcing the border laws is working, as we are now recording record lows in illegal crossings. Americans are not stupid anymore. We know what the bad actors are doing. People are mad, and they're starting to speak out against it. Take Dearborn, Michigan, for example.
2 intersections have been named after Mr. Omar Siblani. My concern is his...
It's fucking named after Osama bin Laden? What? Hello?
He is a promoter of Hezbollah and Hamas. Another quote from 2022. We are the Arabs who are going to lift Palestinians all the way to victory. whether we are in Michigan and whether we are in Jenin. So the reason why I mentioned this is that it sounds like he could be inciting violence in Michigan.
You are a bigot, and you are a racist, and you are an Islamophobe. And although you live here, I want you to know as mayor, you are not welcome here.
An Islamophobe. Ah, it's all so tiresome.
And the day you move out of the city will be the day that I launch a parade celebrating the fact that you moved out of the city.
The guy's like, hey, there's this Muslim guy who supports a radical terrorist group called Hamas. He's promoting political violence in our city, and you named a street after him. Could you, like, not name a street after a guy who promotes terrorism? And then the mayor's like, you're racist and I hate you. Really? Is that how a mayor should behave?
No, it's not. Normally that's a rhetorical question where I wouldn't answer it. But it's preposterous to me that these are our fucking leaders. Imagine, you import the third world, then they vote for each other, and then they win. It actually makes perfect sense, but it's insane to me that that's allowed to happen. I'm going to start doing this more. I mean, the neuro-linguistic programming of the hand signals right here, I mean, I'm really driving my points home.
I don't think I've seen a more perfect example of this meme here than in Dearborn, Michigan. The fact that he thinks he can speak to a member of his constituency like that and not have to worry
no professionalism, no tact
about getting voted out after supporting a guy who promoted terrorism means that there is something
bro's wearing a quarter zip. Please.
Seriously wrong with Dearborn. The people living there need to continue speaking up and possibly be less polite than this guy was. Now, I do want to take a nuanced break to say that just like
the guys who do speak up, I've seen the other videos. 5-minute hoe-scaring crusader monologues.
Mexicans who immigrated legally hate the illegals. There are many Arabic people who hate the Islamic extremists, and be thankful for that because they are some of the first people to speak out about what's going on and warn everybody.
Iranian here with another pro tip for anyone who's not from the Middle East. No one in the Middle East actually blocks intersections to pray in the streets and yell Allahu Akbar. The reason that they do it in your countries is
It's a display of power.
because they're trying to assert their religious dominance over you and claim your country and turn it into Sharia law. Now you know.
Interesting. So
it's just such a fucking fucked up patriarchy, and not in the liberal sense. True patriarchy, go to a Middle Eastern country. Wife's going to be wearing a blanket. It's going to be turned into a letterbox.
We see stuff like prayer horns at like 5 a.m. in Dearborn, or this in Japan where they're blocking the road.
Dude, ass up is crazy!
Or this guy trespassing to meditate and not leaving when the police tell him to.
ホテルを利用するとしかここにいたらダメ。瞑想するんやったら外でやってください。Would you mind doing
outside? So this is like a show of dominance. Great. More reason to deport them and then put a legislative roadblock on legal immigration from places like Somalia or Middle Eastern countries that people are migrating
I physically
from.
cannot put myself in a submissive position like that. I am hardwired to never be seen as prey.
To try and soft conquer the first world.
We don't want to assimilate. We don't want to be like you. You people are so fucking sick, honestly. Assimilate or you're not American. Who are you?
We can solve this problem.
An American!
Real easily with deportation. And keep in mind, you don't have to be an illegal to get deported. If you're being an asshole, your visa can be revoked.
You are in a crisis. You went to the Muslim countries and you imported the garbage that the Muslim countries wanted to put in prison or isolate away from society. You went and you imported them. Why? For cheap labor. But these Islamist extremists...
Dude, who is doing this? I never get a fucking answer.
They don't want to work. They want free welfare. They want to marry French women, blonde hair, blue eyes. They don't have time.
I know it. It's all Freudian.
To work.
Right. It sounds like a lot of groups that are being imported want to feed off the
I feel like they're just the rage baiters of the earth as a whole.
system, not contribute, and then create their own rules. People like that need to be kicked out.
So look at Poland. They don't complain from Islamic extremism, not a single terrorist attack in Poland.
Because they don't tolerate it.
The moment they sense there's a problem, they crack down on it. Polish policy, beautiful. The French, no. Come.
Isn't Poland also notorious for having an extremely low crime rate?
Dude, 2 National Guardsmen just got shot in the fucking head in broad daylight by a CIA asset-adjacent Afghan national. Hello? Help me, dude. Help me.
Weird how when you enforce the law and crack down on bad actors, you don't end up with drastically increasing numbers of sexual assault.
When they come, they use the resources. They go to Washington, D.C., and they sit in Congress with their hijab. When you import that, or you allow it in, or you amplify it, or you glorify
I feel like a boomer watching Fox News and just getting so pissed. Oh, I'm going to cause a scene at the Thanksgiving dinner table. I'm going to say so many slurs. Oh, my granddaughter, my niece, they're going to leave the table crying. I'm going to melt their faces with my truth nukes.
in any way, you make your bed, sleep in it. So that is also a problem of the West. The question is, Tina, did the extremists become stronger or the West become weaker? I say it's both.
I don't know about what he said in terms of the extremists, but as for the West, all they had to do was call us racist for a few years and people completely folded. It's time to stop putting up with this.
You gotta make your bed. You gotta clean your room. My daughter Michaela speaks of this.
And it's time to stop putting up with government powers who are enabling it.
To be in the country undocumented is civil issue. We will not enforce civil law. And so our
No. It's criminal.
support is to make sure they're not going to get hurt and our community.
Bro, this woman should be baking a pie. She should be gardening.
Is not in danger.
She's wrong. It's a federal crime. They are allowed to arrest illegals. Fire her. She's selling you out for political power. People like this need to be treated like traitors and not only be stripped of their power, but be criminally punished if that applies. There's no reason to have compassion or empathy for people who walk
All I feel is rage. Retire all government employees.
over you.
We need to be living in a singularity AI future. Scanning. Zzz. Target acquired. Deported.
Treat you like scum and would abuse you if they were in power.
I remember a conversation with the head
We
of
need to be living in Arc Raiders. I'm looking for an extract.
the school when I was really young. He told me we weren't allowed to speak English in the madrasa, only our language. I asked why, because I was confused. I said,
Dude, I'll be the president, prime minister, god emperor of Slop City. I volunteer as tribute.
but I speak English at school. And he replied, yes, but only speak English when you have to. It's not our language. Then he said something that stuck with me ever since. He told me, be careful who you get too friendly with. Don't forget who your community is. And then, straight-faced, he told me not to be friends with white kids. I was a little girl, and I remember just feeling confused.
As a brown woman, that's really messed up.
I was born and raised in England. My classmates were white. My friends were white. So what were they teaching us? They act like this cult is peaceful, that they're just kind, loving, spiritual people. But that day, they planted the seed of division.
She's right. The extremists that she's talking about are in a cult where many of its leaders are openly saying that if you don't believe what they do, then you should be turned into a tax slave or your life should be ended. Uncivilized people like this should not be allowed in the West. As I was saying before, and I don't know, maybe it's because...
You know what's so stupid? Like, you joke, please identify as a brown girl in public. I would do that. But if I do that around the wrong person, then I get shot. Like, technically, I have the freedom of speech to do that. But there's people crazy enough to end my life over some dumb shit.
of America's Christian Foundation.
It's anarcho-tyranny. It's fucked up.
But kindness and compassion aren't the only good virtues. It is also a good virtue to be belligerent to those who would harm you or others. It is a virtue to be unkind
Like,
to
if I share the value of freedom of speech and someone else doesn't, it's cooked.
rapists, murderers, and thieves. It is virtuous to be a little bit mean to protect your friends, your family, and your neighbors. Because if you don't do that, and if you don't do anything to stop bad people, they will continue to prey upon good people. No one...
But then it proves the point further. Because if you just say some dumb shit and then somebody murks you over it, it's like you let the words offend you so much that your life is now ruined. Which, it creates a feedback loop of the importance of freedom of speech.
Respects a coward who is too weak to stop the villains of society, and personally I consider it immoral to cower in fear in the face of people who do evil, instead of standing up to them. These people are not victims. They are abusing your compassion and emotionally bullying you in an attempt to get away with crimes. All cultures aren't created equal, and it is not racist to point out
Yes, they are, according to Karl Marx.
bad actors or groups that have no problem culturally enriching more civilized people. Like,
isn't it cool that all cultures are created equal, but white people have no culture? They got no seasoning.
This Nigerian guy who randomly assaults a YouTuber in Japan, who ironically was talking about how safe Japan is.
Kabukicho isn't chaotic in its own right, but I feel like if there was something like this in America, it would just be an absolute and too dangerous, really, for any.
There's no way, right? Like, there's no way he's about to get accosted as he's talking about how safe it is.
Civilized person to enjoy. But it's crazy because you come to Japan and
I've actually been watching his content long enough to know that this is not the first time that he's been culturally enriched. I don't know, maybe Chris Rod will make a video call.
I'm gonna start calling it that. Oh, that's cultural enrichment right there.
Calling him a nuisance streamer and say his assault wasn't that bad because there's always been Nigerians.
No camera. No camera. This is the way. No camera.
Kabukicho. Sarcasm aside, Japan is not above becoming a dangerous place if they continue to import the third world and refuse to exile foreigners.
Dude, keep fucking around. You might find out real soon. Hitori Hanzo's gonna pull up with a katana and slice your head clean off. You think you're slick? Shh. Just you wait.
Commit crimes on camera. As for America, it's not about who has a heart and who doesn't. All of this is about what's best for the country, and if foreigners aren't doing things that are good for America, then they shouldn't be.
When I try to inspire the YNs outside 7-Eleven and they blow my shit smooth off. This is going to be my face.
Allowed to come here, legally or not. The people who would sacrifice the overall well-being and the safety of Americans for their own personal gain, instead of improving their own countries, are the sociopaths, and you're not a bad person for telling those people to get lost. Anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you in the next video.
I mean, that felt good. That felt cathartic. I don't know about you, but I am looking forward towards the future. Here at thirdeyeglobal.com. That doesn't exist. Kick.com/Philion. Patty, we got to run that back. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling great after watching that. That was cathartic. That was the release that I needed. We always maintain a frame of delusional optimism at kick.com/Philion.